Hello everyone. I hope you're having a good day. Happy Monday. This is a little later than I normally do, but I thought I would stop in so I could talk all about May. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I think it's awesome that it has a full month because there's so much to talk about mental health and how to have a good place for emotional outlets and, learning more about what can help you in self-care and all the good things that we need to get out because we don't really talk about mental health, especially in, like the insurance world, that kind of thing. There's not a lot that is talked about with mental health. So I'm glad that May has a full month of mental health awareness. And if you don't know me, I am a woman. I'm a single mom, two teenage boys, and I live with PTSD and major depressive disorder. So when I was a kid, I didn't have the greatest growing up. So it was an abusive household, and it stunted a lot of my own ways of putting out my emotions and learning that it's okay to have emotions. I wasn't really taught that. And I think a lot of us in our generation, especially, and the generation before us, just didn't talk about it. We don't talk about feelings or emotions. That's something that you kind of just push down and, just try to let go of, especially negative emotions. So I don't really think that there is such thing as positive, negative emotions. I feel like there's just emotions. And the reason why I think that is because I think the negative emotions tend to get a bad rep, especially anger. And so I decided for this month that part of doing with My Moody Monster, I would talk about the different emotions that people consider negative. And I put up a poll asking which ones. So I chose anger, sadness, fear, and shame. And I put out a poll and it was unanimous, wanted to talk about anger. And that's the big one, because I think that's the one that everybody learns that they need to push down and not show to the world. Don't be an angry girl. Don't be mean. Don't be fussy. Don't be unkind. That somehow or other, anger is mean. And there's a real purpose for our emotions. So one of the things that, as part of my recovery and my therapy is that I do individual therapy, but I also do a group therapy that's around what's called DBT skills. So DBT is dialectical behavior techniques. And what it does is it goes through, emotion regulation and how you can regulate your emotions in times of, panic, that kind of thing. And, just a lot of different, really cool coping skills that you can learn in order to, bring yourself back. What they call it is wise mind. So you have emotion mind and you have, oh my goodness, it's like critical mind, and then in the middle is wise mind. So DBT talks a lot about getting into wise mind and getting from that, place of extremes and bringing it in and tying it all together. So emotions are obviously a big thing that's talked about. And I'm going to preface this is that I am not in any way associated with psychological stuff. I've done therapy since I was 13 years old and gone through a bunch of different things like that, but I'm not a therapist. I don't have a degree in any of this stuff. So this stuff is coming off the cuff. It's coming from a mom. It's coming from a woman who's lived with mental illness, and I'm not ashamed of it. We have to stop the stigma of that. I'm not ashamed that I have PTSD and major depressive disorder. It's okay. There are ways around it that can bring you into a healthier emotional life. So, anger. It's a big one, and I was kind of afraid to start with it because it's that end-all be-all of negative emotions. And here is what anger is used for. There's reasons, because all emotions are valid. There's reasons why you would get angry, why your emotion would turn to angry. Maybe you had like a goal, or you had a task that you had to get through, and somebody stopped you from doing that, and you weren't able to get to it, and you weren't able to finish it, and maybe you won't ever be able to. Of course you're going to get angry about that, because you had an idea of what you wanted to do, and it's been blown now, and it's no fun. You're angry about that. That's a totally valid reason. Others are like more important ones, like someone maybe hurting, or, doing something that's not kind to yourself or a loved one. And it's that response of protection. So anger is also a protective emotion. It protects you and it protects your loved ones, because when you get angry, you have that response, that distress response that is appropriate, as long as you're not blowing your top. But you have the right to be angry because of that. You don't want anybody trying to come up and like hurt a loved one of yours, or, do something that's not kind to you. Of course you're going to get angry, and it's appropriate to. So during this week, what I plan on doing is, for each week of this month, I'm going to do those each emotions, and I'll put the poll out and you guys can pick which one each week. What I'm going to do is, throughout this week, I'm going to just talk about anger. I'm going to talk about why that it's appropriate. Also, things that you can do in order to bring your intense emotions down. And I will, probably pull stuff from my DBT skills, which, there's a lot of great knowledge in there. So I really want to share it. I also think that it's really, really important that we, as parents or people who have children in their lives, remembers that, yes, these emotions are valid, and they're valid for your children or the kids that you're with as well. And that's where Moody comes in for me. This is why I made Moody, because we need to teach our kids that it's okay to have these emotions, and to not push them down, but to say what they need or do what they need without causing any harm. I think if we continue to teach kids to push down their emotions, the blow-ups, all the things that put a lot of stress on us are going to happen. So why not just jump in and let's start teaching our kids about how to properly channel their emotions, such as anger. So Moody, I created Moody because I was frustrated with my own symptoms. And also my son has ADHD, and he has explosive behavior. And I really wished that I had something like this when he was a kid, because I could teach him, here is Moody. He is appropriate for you to rip apart and throw across the room and be angry at and yell at and get your stuff out without destroying the living room, which happened a lot when he was little. So if you've got a kid who, just can't keep their hands down, they have to start beating up on things and throwing things, Moody's the guy for them, because honestly, he's safe. And once you rip him apart and get out what you want to get out because you're so angry, you get to put them back together again when you're ready. Doesn't have to be right away. Put them back together when you're ready, and, come to terms with why you had your outburst and why you're angry or sad or scared or shameful. That way, there's a good discussion with you and your kiddo about why that happened and what could be done on either side, on parent and kid or caregiver and kid. What each side can do to make sure that the kid is heard and that they also understand how they can appropriately let out their emotions. So that's what I plan on doing for the next month. I'm gonna do hashtags like stop the stigma when we talk about mental illness. I am going to, use the hashtag you're not alone for times, because throughout the week I plan on just highlighting different ideas about each emotion. So for anger, tomorrow I'll put up some, responses to things that make us angry. And throughout the week, I'm going to do that. I'm going to probably do another live talking about this kind of stuff. But I wanted to give you guys an idea, first of all, what I'm planning on doing. So remember, all emotions are valid. Your kiddo has a reason why they are angry or sad or scared or shameful. There's a reason for it. And why not work that reason out with them so that the next time they know how to, or the time after, it takes time, that they have a more appropriate response to their emotion. That's it. I can't wait to talk to you guys more about it. So I'm going to be putting up information about emotions throughout the week and each particular emotion. And I'm excited to interact with you guys. Please interact with me. Tell me what you want to hear, what you want to see. I am more than happy to provide. You can put in the DMs no, that's the comments. You can put in the DMs, if you want to talk to me without putting in the comments. So have a good rest of your day, everyone. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.